Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your host, Jay, and you're watching another live Man's Night right here in our studios from Inside Out. Thank you guys so much for joining. I do appreciate it. Man, what an interesting and concerning week it's been. We got a lot of stuff to talk about and try to unpack here tonight for this episode. And if you guys are curious what's going on, this was scheduled actually for Wednesday night, but I ended up having some small little issues that I just couldn't get around. Timing just wasn't there for me. So as you guys know, I have to do what I have to do when it comes to the time that we are given. So I rescheduled it for tonight. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get in the chat and say hi to everybody that's here real quick. Because you know me, I got to do that. So the first thing I want to do, Mark was in here, I think earlier. He left a comment, but it's not showing up on my comment section for some reason, but it is on my other devices. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and give a shout out to Undertaker. What's up? Thank you so much, Undertaker, for being here. I appreciate you. We also have Tin Man. What's going on, Tin Man? Thank you so much for joining, as usual. I appreciate you. And we have, of course, Curtis. And he said, hello. What's up, my friend? How you doing, Curtis? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you too as well. Anyways, with that being said, we're going to be talking about, as you guys can see in the description of this video here tonight, we're going to be talking about the corruption. And believe me, my guys, or my friends, that corruption, that rabbit hole, if you will, it goes so deep that, believe it or not, there is no bottom to it. We'll never find it in our time or in our grandkids' time. We'll never find it. And until it changes, however, it's just going to keep going and going and going. And you can see the corruption with the events that have taken place in the last week or so. We're dealing with a lot of bad things right now, and it's a bad time to be in this portion of our generation, if you get my drift. You know, it's quite scary if you want to get down the brass tacks with it, guys. And it's very concerning what people are doing to our fellow Americans. People are losing their lives and all of that, and it's getting to be a point where it's like I'm embarrassed in some circumstances, ways, to be an American, even though I love this country. If something doesn't change, though, folks, I don't know where this country is going to go. Very highly concerned, and I'm actually scared for, I'm just scared, for my kids' sake and so much other stuff that's going on. So, but we're going to dive deep into the topic tonight, corruption and all of that. Curtis gets in here and says, I'm a dead stinker, LOL. Oh, gotcha. It's a behind the scenes joke. But anyways, thank you. Thank you, Chris, for that. I appreciate you, as you know. We got my friend Tammy in here. She said this. Hi, everyone. Love and light. Absolutely. I hope you're doing good, Tammy. And if, again, you want to come up on the panel and help me do this podcast, you're more welcome to do so. But anyways, welcome in, as you know. Thank you. And Curtis gets in there and says, "This, we need Trump," and I absolutely agree, absolutely. But with that being said, let's go ahead and tie into the topic for tonight. Tammy, if you want to jump in here real quick before I get into the data, so we can do this together. If not, you can just do it in the chat, whatever is comfortable or whatever is doable for you. A side note for all of you, some information is not going to be able to be put up here tonight because of the they want me to subscribe to their page before I can see the information in it, and I didn't do that. I got enough subscriptions and enough stuff in my emails and whatnot that I'm just not going to get involved in it, if you get my drift. So there's that. Well, anyways, so let's go ahead and tear into, I should say, the data for tonight that was sent to me thanks to my good friend Tammy. And we're going to do a share screen as always, because I like to share the data. And you guys will see firsthand what I'm talking about when it comes to corruption and all of that. So here it is. Bear with me. Got to get my settings fixed up here. What? There we go. That was weird. All right, guys, let's go ahead and show what I'm talking about. As you guys can see on your screen, and let me know if you guys can see this. And if you can't see it, I swear to God, if you guys can't see it, let me know and I'll do a zoom in more. But this is what we're dealing with right here, guys. A rural Nevada judge. Look at this. Yeah, this is for real. And you can see, here's her picture, I believe, right here. Rural Nevada judge who once ran for state treasurer indicted on federal fraud charges. Imagine that. So it's not just happening in Nevada. It happens clear across this whole entire country. And folks, I don't know what else to tell you. We are dealing with a lot of stuff right now that in one podcast itself can't be spoke on. There's a lot going on. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So let me go ahead and break this down and show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay. And again, all credit and whatnot goes to the Associated Press that put this on. This was uploaded and put on their site on July 17th, 2024 at 2:16 p.m. So there's an info. You guys want to follow them. There's our social medias. Go check it out. The link to this information is in the description of this video. A Nevada Justice of Peace who ran unsuccessfully for state treasurer in 2022 has been indicted on federal fraud charges. Surprised? I'm not. Let's go ahead and move down the list here. This is her. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I hope you guys can see this. If not, let me know in the chat. Tammy's in the waiting room. Okay. Before I read the information, okay, guys, bear with me. I'm getting chats. Truthful Tam, who Tammy is the one who gets up on my podcast a lot, says she's in the waiting room. I hope that she's doing okay and she's not having any other issues that she's told me in a private chat. Tammy, if you can hear me, all of us here from Inside Out Network LLC, my family, everybody in the chat are sending prayers to you for whatever problem you have going on right now. I hope it's nothing serious, and our love and respect and prayers are going out to you, Tammy. I'm very sorry for whatever's going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason why Tammy can't be in here tonight. And then Tin Man gets in here and says this real quick, guys. Bear with me. I got a lot going on. Tin Man gets in here and says, I want to caution you that an indictment doesn't constitute guilt. I know that. Again, I'm just going by the data on the screen. I appreciate you sending that information to me, Tin Man. Thank you very much. You are correct. But I'm not saying she is guilty. I'm just reading off the facts here on the screen tonight. Thank you, Tin Man. And then let's see. Curtis said she is in your waiting. Oh, crap. I swear to God. Let me get out of this real quick. Jeez. Oh, my Lord.
I'm trying not to laugh really hard, but I do need the prayers. My blood pressure is 201/111 right now.
You know
Like I
what's
shut
funny,
my
Tim?
mouth.
Hey, Tam.
I went to the ER.
First off, Tam, let me go ahead and say I apologize. I got misled there.
Yeah,
And
it's my fault.
secondly, I didn't hear the little beep or notification go off that you were in my waiting room.
That's too funny.
So usually when you chime in, it goes beep or makes a sound that you're in here. Holy crap. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
this is an article about an indictment. Yes, that's true. But when you go
Yes.
back into it, when you read the whole article, it's very telltale of a lot of what have you, corruption, like again, leading
Right.
back to Congress. All these stories are tied to our political chaos that's going on right now.
Correct.
Um, I, you and I
Jeez.
talked about this, and I just wanted to point out, like I've said a billion times, until they can rid this country, this one that goes around telling all the other countries how they should run their countries and
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
involved in everything.
Yeah.
It's like the parent saying to the child, "Because I said so."
Well, that sounds familiar.
Not because do as I do. It's don't do as I do because I said so. And so that's kind of where all of this streamlines to, is
Mhm.
the fact of, you're gonna see it, and I know you know because we discussed all the material before it gets
Right.
laid out. But in the one about the senator, now
Yeah.
this lady here, particularly this judge that wanted to be treasurer, and then they're saying she used all the money to pay her rent and so forth. As you go into the article, her rent and her campaign funds. Whoa, campaign advertising.
Hmm.
This is what she's been indicted for, is misappropriation of funds, basically. But she also was in congressional involvement in some misdeeds as well.
Okay.
So it's just like it's the apple not falling far from the tree, kind of. That's why this article was picked in particular. If anybody's curious, that's why we kind of picked this. We want to show this, both men and women, and age doesn't matter. There's
Right.
just a lot of ugly, ugly corruptions with the judges,
It's
the
everything and
senators,
everyone.
the
Correct.
presidents. Name me a president, and maybe you guys will come up with it, but if you dig deep into every president's past, name me one that didn't do something that was illegal.
Nixon.
Maybe. Dig a
Nixon
little
went.
deeper. But you know what
Nixon.
I'm saying? Like
Tammy Nixon
every
went
single
down as
one.
one of the worst presidents in history when he was president. So that's my take.
And you know the funny thing is, like, if you look at the Kennedy family,
Mm-hmm.
JFK,
Mm-hmm.
their dad was so heavy into the mob and all of that, and
Yeah.
you look at them, but Bobby Kennedy was like a dog with a bone. He
Yeah.
really wanted change. I think he would have made an excellent president, even
Yeah.
though I
And
lead more towards Republican
right.
type stance. Yeah, they got rid
And
of
if
him.
have you noticed, Tammy, that it seems like a pattern? It's always the Republican Party or Republican presidents that always get hurt.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing? Well, not amazing. It. But
yeah,
yeah,
it's great.
yeah, Biden beats that absolutely. He's a That's a walk in the park.
They figure he's harmless. Why hurt him?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to say nothing.
It's like
um,
beating somebody up that's defenseless, that has no arms and
just give
legs.
him,
Just
just give
why?
him some ice cream, and he's a happy camper.
Nancy Pelosi said she could supply him with some anytime. She'd be happy to, from her freezer.
Well, again, rumor has it he's about ready. They're about ready to get him out.
I need to
Anyways.
stop.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and go back to the share screen. Tammy, you ready
Yeah,
for the
let me
data?
pull that up and I can help a little bit
All
here.
right. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go ahead and get back into the data for tonight. Here it is. Now, again, in the chat, guys, please let me know if you guys can see this good enough. If not, I need to zoom in or zoom out. Probably most likely zoom in. But let me know, and we'll go from there. Tammy, you got this up?
Yeah, I've got it up. So I don't know where you were at, but I can kind of skim. Pretty familiar with
I'm
it.
at the top portion of. I haven't even started reading it yet, but
Okay. So
go ahead.
a Nevada justice of the peace who ran unsuccessfully for state treasurer in 2022 has been indicted on federal charges alleging she used money donated for a memorial to slain police officers for political campaign costs, rent, and her daughter's wedding. The 5-count indictment against Michelle Fiore, she's 53 years old, she's my age, a justice of the peace in rural Pahrump, and the state Republican National Committee member, was filed Tuesday in U.S. District Court in Las Vegas. So, in a statement Wednesday, the former Nevada State Assembly and Las Vegas City Council member said she knew for years that the FBI was investigating, but learned of her indictment through media reports. Fiore said the process profoundly affected her and her family and friends and constituents.
Imagine
I hold
that.
my oath of office sacred and have consistently strived to serve my community with integrity and to the best of my ability. Now that I've been accused, I eagerly await my opportunity to address these charges in court.
Mm-hmm.
So she's accused of wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, crimes that each carry a possible penalty of 20 years in prison. Court records did not reflect when Fiore was due for an initial court appearance. Her attorney, George Calisis, declined to comment. The grand jury was told that when she was city council member from 2017 to 2022, she promised to use 100% of the contributions she solicited to erect a statue in a city park to honor 2 Las Vegas police officers who were killed on duty June 2014.
Wow.
I want to say something about that too.
Go ahead.
My dad was a cop, and I grew up around cops. There's some cops that I absolutely adored and loved. Some I couldn't stand because they were corrupt. Most officers could give shit less about having a statue erected in their name. They would have much rather that money go to some kind of fund to help kids or themselves or their communities. So that's a crock too. I mean, it's a waste of money, really. I mean, we don't need idols and stuff for ourselves. Put that money back into something, make a scholarship for some kids to go to school, or retraining or something. Put it in a dog program, put it in something beneficial to the city to honor it, name that item after those officers.
Correct.
I just get tired of the BS. Anyway,
I do too.
Fiore did not use any of the tens of thousands of dollars in charitable donations for the statue. Instead, covered the money to her personal use. Prosecutors said in a news release. The indictment refers to an unnamed co-conspirator who is related to Fiore and traces checks that prosecutors said diverted money to pay Fiore's political fundraising bills, rent, and daughter's wedding.
Wow. Must be nice.
Now, this is the other thing. So this is what I was talking about earlier. She served in one term as a Republican in the state legislature from 2012 to 2016, where she was an outspoken supporter of gun rights and posed with guns in her family. So she was a big NRA, which no problem with that. Whatever, I believe in the right to bear arms and all of that. But she ran as a Republican but lost a statewide race, state treasurer, to Democrat Zach Conine. I don't know. But
Right.
anyway, she was appointed by Nye County lawmakers in 2022 to serve as one of 2 local justices of the peace for her inner rural Pahrump, an hour's drive west of Las Vegas. Here's my problem with this whole story and everything, and the truth will come out if she misused funds, and there's somebody that knows and has knowledge. She's done. She'll be
Oh, I
done.
know. I
But
know.
the sentences, like, why are we? I'm not defending her, but why are we having to have these huge long sentences for crimes? Yes, it hurt people emotionally. You took from the city, you took from people that work hard and earn their money. That was a wrong thing. But why are we going to flood the prisons with people with crimes like this? But yet we let people, and it reminds me of Marcy, you know Marcy, the advocate,
Yep.
Marcy Marie.
Yep.
Okay, so it reminds me of like her story. She served over 2 decades, 10, 20 years in prison, and it was for a money crime.
Hmm.
Like, why? Why such a harsh sentence for those things? But people that go out, there was a guy, one of our fellow members here, posted something about somebody that did a crime for a person, and they crimes against children, really horrific. He got let out and repeated it. Like, why are we letting that? And
See,
like, I remember growing up in New Mexico,
that
and there was a senator that we had for many, many, many years. He needed to be out of office a long time.
that's
He
that word
pardoned this guy.
accountability. Again, there's that word accountability
Yeah.
that you never see any of it.
He pardoned this man that had art a woman severely, really bad. And he pardoned him because of a technicality on his case, so he got out. He was out I think it was less than 24 hours. Came to the town we lived in, and Art, an elderly woman that was over 70 years old, and unalived her and broke several bones in her body. And I thought to myself, I think I was like 13 when it happened. But I was like thinking to myself, why was he even out again? And not monitored? That kind of thing, like, where do we walk the line?
It's
Anybody
frustrating,
have
isn't
any
it?
ideas?
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it, when you can see your own people that you know, whether you did or didn't vote for, or whatever side you voted for, not do what they promised and
What
do the
they
total
promise
opposite.
to do, or they're just
Yeah,
so.
it's more proof in the pudding, Tam, and everybody in the chat. It's just more proof that they're not really for us. It's for them and them only.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, they kept going on and on and on. Like,
Yeah.
why do we keep going through these things? Like, I want so bad to just disassemble the whole system and rebuild it
I
the
agree.
right way,
I agree.
because there are a lot of people that can be reformed. Um, you know, oh, I love Curtis. He's so nice. Um,
Thank you, Curtis, my friend. I appreciate you for that nice, kind word. Thank you.
he's so sweet. But like, how do we move forward in a progressive way when everything we're doing is so back? Sorry for cussing, back asswards.
Yeah, I say it all the time.
I mean, I can voice my opinion on here all day long, but like, do I think there's probably the truth to what they're putting out there? Probably. Honestly, I know it's an indictment. I know it could be untrue, but Yeah, I think it can honestly be true about her. Anyway,
No,
that's my spill on it. My
no,
tea on it.
you're absolutely correct. I mean, it's pretty interesting, and I guess I don't know if you want to call it sad, but I think it's more fitting to see people that are actually woke and educated on this stuff, or you wouldn't be speaking about it. You see it, but nothing ever gets done about it. It's crazy. But thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, it's absurd to me. It's absurd.
It's sad that we do this to our own people, just for a vote, just for money, power, greed.
So if
I don't
you
know.
want to go into the next one, it's the New York Times one, the Menendez. I don't
Yes,
know.
I'm going to show you with proof that I can't get the data until I subscribe to them, and I didn't do that.
Well, I
So
will. Can I
you're,
just
I'll put
pull
it
it
up.
for you?
I'll put it up, but you're going to have to read the data
Okay,
because I'm
that's
not
fine.
subscribed to them, and I don't feel like doing another subscription. So let's go ahead and put that up, guys. This is coming from the New York Times. And again, all information, guys, is in the description of this video. Here's that now.
Oh, it wants me to do it too, but I can get it on him. Hang on.
Okay. No worries. No worries.
This is
So, guys,
okay. So let me. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead and talk about
sorry,
it.
Tammy. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
So everybody in the chat, if you're kind of new here and don't know how this works, I usually show data and information up on my screen to back up our claims that we're talking about. It just helps the podcast out a lot if you guys understand how this works. So for you guys that are seeing this on the screen now, the New York Times, in order to read any articles or information or anything of that nature when it comes to their website, you have to subscribe. And I don't feel like doing that right now, so I can't show you guys anything on this information. So I guess we'll just talk about it without the share screen. But here it is. It's called the New York Times. If you want to see the data that we're talking about tonight, you're most likely going to have to subscribe. And I think it's free. It says right here, create a free account, but you can subscribe for $1 a week. So I guess it all depends. It's up to you guys.
So I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
tell you guys where I'm getting this information so that you'll know.
So go ahead.
I'm going to give credit to NBC News. You can go there and you can watch it and read about it all you want. It was posted on July 16th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So Senator Bob Menendez, he's been ancient ingrained into New Jersey and the Congress. He sat on the Foreign Relations Committee, which is part of this problem. He's a Democrat from New Jersey, was found guilty on all counts Monday after being tried on charges of accepting bribes, including cash and gold bars, to benefit the governments of Egypt and Qatar. Like I said, he sat on the Foreign Relations Committee. Imagine that, Jay. Damian
Okay.
Williams. Sorry.
There you go. There you go.
Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, whose office prosecuted the case, held the verdict saying Menendez's years of selling his office to the higher bidder have finally come to an end. Well, that's great. Why don't you get on board of firing the rest of Congress? I'd be happy to see that. Thank you. Anytime. Big invite. And while you're at it, step up to the states. Let's go. Let's clean house. Menendez has his hands crossed and his chin resting on his hands as some of the verdict was read and didn't display any emotion. He then shook his head in disagreement as the jurors were polled about the verdict. Some of his family members broke down in tears. He'll be sentenced October 29th.
Wow.
I'm not going to read the whole article, but let me tell you, this man was charged with 16 counts, including bribery, extortion, acting as a foreign agent, obstruction of justice, several counts of conspiracy. He had pled not guilty, as did his wife, who was also a co-conspirator, Nadine Mendez, and whose trial was delayed indefinitely because she's going through breast cancer diagnosis. Side note on that is, prisoners here in Texas, they don't give a shit if you're dying. Don't care if you're on your last leg. They're going to take you to court. They're going to prosecute you. They're going to hand you your ass, and they're going to throw you right in prison, and they're going to let you die in there. So,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
saying, they get special treatment, though. See, it's a different field when it's somebody else. Anyway, the jury deliberated for about 12 and a half hours over 3 days, returning verdicts. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who's a Democrat from New York, called on Menendez to resign after the jury's decision. In light of his guilty verdict, Senator Menendez must now do what is right for his constituents, the Senate, our country, and resign. So they're all calling for his resignation. But I want to tell you the gifts that he got. And I saw pictures of the evidence from this case. This man had wads of cash in envelopes stuffed in suit jacket pockets on the inside of his jacket. He
Must be
had
nice.
gold bars and cash stuffed down in boots and shoes hidden
Wow.
all over his damn house.
Wow, guys.
So
Wow.
those bribes included gold bars, a Mercedes Benz given to his wife Nadine, and more than $480,000 in cash. Can you imagine? And this man has been doing this for centuries.
Imagine if me and you, or just you, had that, and how much change we can bring to the table. If we had that kind of stuff.
Oh, I can name quite a few people I'd be putting into some housing, quite a few veterans, honestly, that are on the street because our country couldn't even let them have a fair trial.
Yeah.
Makes me sick. So 2 of the people that were indicted with him and also got convicted and pled guilty were
Hey, Vicky.
I may not say it right, Wael Hannah and Fred Dibes faced trial alongside Menendez and were convicted on all counts as well. The third businessman who was charged, Jose Uribe, pled guilty and testified during the trial. So he was the one that flipped on him, more than likely. Wow. But this the whole thing. Menendez was his parents were Cuban immigrants, so he was second generation, first generation born here, and they were Cuban. And he could have really done a really good thing, but now he's shed and tarnished. It's sad. The senator's sister, Caridad Gonzalez, testified for his defense that their parents were Cuban immigrants and their father discouraged them from trusting banks. So she wasn't surprised. In the mid-1980s, her brother asked her to grab $500 from a shoebox in a bedroom closet. It was normal. It's a Cuban thing. Really? Wow. Yeah, that may be great if it's your own money.
Yeah.
But when you're doing that and you're given the people in Egypt and Qatar, I read all the documents from the trial and everything. They referred to him as their man. So what he was doing, it's like lobbyists, but he was doing the illegal lobbyist thing that we're not supposed to do even in the United States. He was taking bribes to make votes and bills pass and certain things to go their way.
Right.
While our soldiers like Curtis and my husband and stuff are out fighting wars against with these countries and against them sometimes. And that's how they repay us all. That's who the real crooks are, really. I mean, they're trying to cover up a lot of stuff right now.
The crooks, the big crooks, I should say, like you said, and everybody I think will agree with us, you, me. The big crooks are where the money and power is at. That's where the crooks are at. Follow the money, follow the greed, and you'll find a buttload of corrupt individuals.
Well, and this is what he tried to do before this all came to really light, when he was being threatened and everything. He was going to file to run as an independent, a move that threatened to complicate the dynamics in a race that would ordinarily be layup for Democrats in the liberal state. The Democrat nominee for the seat is Representative Andy Kim, and the Republican nominee is Curtis Bradshaw. So he basically had threatened them so that he can like he was trying to pull a political move to get out of all of this. He was going to
Right.
try and upend everything and get out of it.
Yeah, I think we the people, from Tim Man's comment, I think we the people like you, Tammy, and I, and everybody in the chat, we should be the ones that have the say or the last say, not the.
Well, like I said, I would like to get a group, and I don't know how I'm going to make this happen, but I'm going to try. I'm working so hard trying to get stuff done, but
I know, me too.
I want us to reach out as a collective, and I'm encouraging everybody. I think that we should reach out to some of these people that serve 25 and up life sentences
Mhm.
that got exonerated and overturned because, like,
I agree.
say their whole conviction was a lie or a setup,
I agree.
and get a
Yeah.
bunch of them together and go before the White House and Congress and get a panel done to see if we as Americans can get them have a special panel like we do other panels in Congress of things that oversee the Justice Department,
Mm-hmm.
the Supreme Court,
Mm-hmm.
the judicial. We need a board of lawyers, judges, and ex felons that have served some really hard time, and we need some of family members of people that were executed. Well, I'm not even going to say executed. I'm going to say the M word,
Okay, go ahead.
MD'd by the states, because that's what it is. They put them in a chair or they shoot something in their arm, and they're no longer with us on this earth because they were accused of a crime that they were not guilty of. And
Correct.
those families paid the ultimate price. And I think they need to be able to oversee. And I want a committee designed specifically for the judicial system, and I want them to split that committee and have one in every state that can walk into any county jail, any state jail or prison, and walk
Yeah.
in there in any courtroom and anywhere at any time and ask to see full transparency disclosure on any case or any individual. And I think that the grievance system needs to be set up completely different than it is now, because it is
I
not working. I am seeing prisoners right now in Texas that are being almost unalived for filing grievances alone. All
yeah.
they are doing is trying to be treated like human beings.
Well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but again, they say, and this is like a slew of, like, for example, DLC has been proven to say it, and communities that are ignorant say it all the time. People that are locked up, and I get it in my comment section. I get it all the time. The ignorance is just beyond bliss. And
I
when
know
it
what you're
comes
about
to,
to say, but go ahead.
oh yeah, you get where I'm getting at. But it's that if they're committed of a crime, they're locked up, they don't have anything, they're a bunch of losers, this and that, and blah blah blah.
You do the
And
crime and you do the time.
that,
Well,
well, that too, but what I'm saying what I'm saying though is that metadly of them thinking, oh, they're criminals, they don't have this or have that right to do this or this or this. We do, and we did a show on that. If you remember, Tammy, about the grievance system and what you need to do. Yeah, I think the grievance system as a whole. You're correct, Tammy. The grievance system as a whole needs a major overhaul because the way it's done, those
they don't
grievances
have
come
a
up missing.
chance.
They come
It's
up
a joke.
missing. Absolutely, they come up missing, deleted, thrown away, ripped up. You name it.
We're
And
going through
and
that right now with several people. And here's the thing for me. The big thing for me. I am sick and tired. So sick and tired of watching people guard them, whatever they want to say they do to prisoners in there.
yeah,
Um, I do not like that those people are more, and I'm not saying all of them are
correct, Tin Man.
more criminal than some of the people that they're watching over.
Yeah. They just never been caught.
Yeah, oh, they've been caught and it's been let go. They're committing crimes currently as we speak.
Oh, I get it. I guess I
Rick
missed
and
my.
them were in line for showers this morning, and he said, "Babe," he called me this morning. He was real like. I said, "What's wrong?" I could hear it in his voice. He said, "Well, we were standing there in line, and the CO went up to this guy and told him, 'Get to the back of the line, boy.'" I said,
Boy.
He said, "What, Tim?" He said, "Get in the back of the line, boy." I said, "Rick." I said, "Was he black?" He said, "Of course."
Correct. Jay Brady, you're correct. Or they get retaliated against. Absolutely. She's
They
from
get
X.
retaliated against and sometimes unalived here in Texas.
Correct.
They
Man,
won't give
amazing
them
story.
water. They'll do all kinds of stuff to them right now because of the heat.
Thank you, Jay Brady, for that comment.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're correct. And man, what you just said there, that is almost in a sense. Well, I shouldn't say sense. I think it is 100% racism. What you just said there, when
that was definitely racial profiling.
yeah,
And
because
the
you don't say boy. It's disrespectful when you call somebody boy.
It's sad because, like I said, I don't think there's one person in this. They'd have to show me one prison that doesn't have, that I could go in all of their backgrounds. If I got a PI to follow every CO, every lieutenant, every captain, every
Oh yeah, that's a good idea too.
Every senior warden, every warden, everybody. If I dug in their backgrounds, if I hired, I'm just saying, if I hired a PI to do that, then what would we find?
Oh, you better make sure you have some extra ink pens because you're going to be writing down a lot of stuff, or at least a big enough SD card to record it all.
I'm telling you, and that's the thing, though. How can you police a society with people that have deviant? That's a deviant behavior too, by the way. To
absolutely
to torture and amuse yourself, get your kicks off by abusing people that are helpless, to doing that. Like when they broke Rick's hand, they knew that he couldn't do a damn thing to them.
Correct, Vicky.
He was shackled around the waist he was in the ankle irons and at the waist.
See, for what? What's the point of that?
Just because they could.
I could see it. Now, Tammy, look, I'm going to rephrase. When I say what's the point of that, let me rephrase. I'll say it like this. A lot of people may not know this. There's always a rhyme and reason, guys, why you're shackled and handcuffed. Because usually, I would say at least 9 times out of 10, depending on the prison, the staff, the state, all that fun jazz, is how defiant the inmate is.
Well, is there a reason why transport? Remember, that's when they were taking
right. No, I know that, but what I'm saying though is that they put these people in those chains like that because they have an outburst problem and they can't be trusted.
Right. Well, no, they just did it because he's black and he was in Denton
Correct.
County, and
I know that.
White racist pricks. But this is the thing. Here's the funny thing.
Go ahead.
There is one in Texas right now of an inmate that I know of. I could go on and on, but there's one right now that there's a group of people that got together, inmates, and they decided to file grievances. They've been filing them. They did a food strike recently, and I've been following along the story and everything. All of a sudden, all of their outside world contact was cut off. They were all in SEG. Most of them had been there already.
Wow.
They decided to get together and do a food strike. And then they were, in Texas, they were force feed you. They can get an injunction if you're about to unalive. They can get a force feed tube situation going, put you in medical. So anyway, they took and we're depriving them of water and stuff like that.
Yeah,
One
no,
guy
hell no.
has no clothing. He has no mattress. They've taken all his stuff from him. Yeah, it's bad.
And
It's
and
bad.
again, I get this question asked to me too, and I don't know if it happens to you or not, Tammy, since you've been involved in this kind of work. The question they ask me, when's there ever going to be an end to this? And my answer is pretty simple: until we stand up, we're not going to see no end.
If you have to ask, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be rude or blunt or ugly to anybody, but if you
No,
have to ask that question, then you might be part of the problem because you're not standing up with these people. We are their only voice. They are
we
human beings, and as Christians, they are God's children as well. We are
and then
not to stand in judgment of them. That is
mhm.
not our job. It is not our job. Whatever they're in there for, they're in
well,
there for, and they're already serving. It's not our
well,
business.
and keep in mind, just because you're in prison doesn't make me look at you any different than a person on the street.
That's right.
That's how I look at it,
We
folks.
walk
And
we
I've said,
walk amongst criminals every day, and we all are born of sin. Remember that. And I'm not
well, yeah,
trying to get religious or overkill with
no,
it,
but
but
you're correct.
I'm
We're
walking
not
in the
perfect, and
grocery
we're not
store.
trying to be perfect. Right. We're not trying to be perfect here in any way, shape, form, or am I claiming I am, or you, or anybody else. But the problem is, regardless, again, I'm trying to be really cool about this. Regardless how many times we sin, we're still we're still human beings. We're going to make mistakes because that's the human being in us. There's an old saying that was taught to me when I was a little bit younger. You got to crawl before you walk. And then of course somebody else comes to me and says, well, how long are you going to start crawling? When are you going to start walking? Everybody's different. Maybe it takes longer for somebody to start walking. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that every human being on earth is way different than the other person. We can't be copycats or be the same as those people. We're all different. We all do things different, but we want the same thing if you're on the same page. Tammy, you're right. Everybody in the chat, you're right. I'm been doing this for 6 years. I've been talking about the corruption and the nonsense and the bull crap within our prisons for 6 years straight. And you would think in 6 years I would have got something done. No, because when you got one person, believe it or not, and yes, there's multiple people, guys, pay attention to this. There are multiple podcasters, multiple influencers, multiple people talking about prison stuff and getting out there and putting the word out. I'm not hating them. I'm not coming at them sideways. What I'm saying is we need more than just that. It's still not enough because change is not happening because the main problem is we're too afraid. We're too intimidated. We get shut down or retaliated against. If we do something out here, then our locked up loved ones get in trouble. Come on, Tammy.
Yep, that's the truth, and that's why I said that grievance system needs to be overturned. They need to be able to anonymously put in grievances, and it needs
Yeah,
to be investigated by an outside entity that doesn't work for the government, because that's the problem. You can't have an independent. You cannot have somebody come in there, and they had some issues going on at one unit, and they had a pop-up visit, but they knew that the pop-up visit was coming. So what good is the investigation going to do if you can't pop in? Just like the FBI and the police and everything gets to go get a warrant from a judge, gets to go in and tear your house apart or your car apart with that warrant. We should have something as a people, because we pay for the prisons.
Oh,
I pay
absolutely.
for it every paycheck I
Every
get in.
taxpayer.
I
Yep.
pay for it. So why can't I have a voice, an outside independent? As a taxpayer, I want to hire an outside independent company that is not affiliated with the prison
Yeah.
system or the
Mhm.
judicial system to go in and do it. I am over it.
Mhm.
Jay Brady, I want to reach out to you. I'm hearing you. I see you. I don't know what state you are in. You might want to look at, depending if they pled, if they did not plead,
Jay Brady, thank you for your comment.
if they did not plead, your son didn't plead, you can go the route of an appeal. I would be talking to appeals attorney, even a jailhouse attorney, but tell them to be very careful with that, Make sure it's somebody that everybody said is really good in the law library. If not, then
Texas.
your other bet is okay, you're in Texas like me. So the other thing is if he pled out, you want to look at a writ of habeas corpus 11.04. Look that up what it is. And you can reach out to Jay. Jay can get a hold of me,
Yep.
and you can do it that way.
Emails in the ticker.
Yeah, Jay's got his email. I swear I'm going to get my stuff up. I'm trying. It's really difficult to write code. It sucks,
No
honestly.
rush, no rush,
Not
Tammy. Don't
fun.
beat yourself up.
It's not fun. It's
I know.
not fun. I don't like it. I don't like it.
So Jay Brady, if you can hear me, I hope you can anyways, reach out to the email down below and we will hook you up with everybody that you see here tonight. Tammy, Tammy's in Texas, just for your knowledge. I'm in Florida. Curtis is in Kansas. Let's see. Tin Man is in Kansas. Who else do I have in here?
Is Trey
We
in
got a
tonight? I didn't know
what's
Trey was.
Trey? Well, Mark was in here earlier. He left an awesome comment, but it's not showing up. But there's a slew of us in here. Jay Brady, if you're curious or need help, reach out. There's the information. Voices from inside out at gmail.com. Make sure you spell it the way you see it on the screen or I won't get it. Voices from inside out at gmail.com. Jay Brady, thank you so much for being here.
So our last thing was on Trump tonight, the assassination.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up right.
That one is not as current as whatever's going on right now with that, and I haven't.
I'm going to bring it up right now
to watch any of the Trump stuff, you know.
Right. I try not to get political on this podcast for obvious reasons because it causes a lot of obviously divide, which we don't need more of. But I don't care your belief. I don't care what side you're on. The point is the evidence in hand here that's over everything. And this has turned out to be a big, gigantic mess. So in the chat, before I start this, I want to make sure you guys can see this in the screen. We're going to play the video. I'm not sure, like you said, Tammy, how outdated is this? Because this has probably been, there's a lot more updated information coming out now. But you want me to play it, I can.
I mean, I don't think we need to. It's just letting everybody know that it's there. We kind of know. I think. Let me address a question real quick.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Brady,
do you want me to get
Jay Brady? Make sure you reach out to Jay, and he can get you my phone number and email. He can forward me your email, and I will help you. There are avenues you can go down. I'm in the same predicament you are, but I can at least give you a hand up to get started on some things. Okay? Because my husband had the same problem. The ineffective counsel is a trend with those public pretenders. So, Jay, on the issue with Trump and this whole thing, I want to say this, and I hope everybody hears me very clearly and knows that this comes from deep within my heart. I have watched friends tear each other apart that I've known all my life over this whole political Democrat versus Republican world falling apart crap. But then I've also seen friends rise up above it.
Yeah.
And one thing that struck out at me is that all the nasty comments, whether it be, oh, Biden should be in the predicament Trump was in, or vice versa, Trump, you know, too bad they didn't really get him, this and that, all those kind of nasty comments. Listen, it doesn't make America look good whatsoever to the rest of the world.
It's actually an embarrassment.
It actually disgusts me that people think that it's funny or that somebody's life. Listen, if this person was put up to it or not put up to it and they were just mental health issues, either way, something really went down really wrong. Mm-hmm. Secret Service had a failure. The local police and
I question that. I question that.
All of it has a failure. Mm-hmm. They had a failure to protect people, and an innocent person lost their life because of their failures. There should be like no excuse, and maybe we need to stop having rallies like this out in the public. Maybe it needs to be where the person's encased, or there's a barricade of sorts. Put there a bulletproof barricade that surrounds the stage. We haven't learned anything from the past.
No.
JFK is an absolute tragic thing that happened to this country many decades ago, and we never
Yeah.
learned from it.
Well, and again, there's no excuse for it. We're all supposed to be adults, but we're not seeing no adultness. We're seeing children acting like children. It's crazy.
And he was a 20-year-old kid. So let me say this:
Go figure.
if he was mentally unstable, if
We
he
don't
was
know.
mentally truly, then that just proves even more, as I've said a billion times, that is the one thing in this country that really affects our schools, our communities,
Correct.
our very fiber and being, and our prison system.
Mhm.
Because if you go in there, even if you're innocent and you go in there sane, you're not going to come out that way.
No.
Mental health is like the root of a lot of money's the root of all evil, but mental health, I'd say, run a close second to it.
Well, and again, you raise a great point. Why aren't we doing anything more, if you will, for mental health issues? What's the big problem? Why doesn't that get looked at or addressed more than it should? Or
I
is?
see, and you know what? I don't even think it's even big corporations. You know what I do for a living? I told you. I
Right.
take claims for people.
There's got to be a reason why we don't pay attention to it. I know, but there's got to be. Go ahead.
And we get those kind of claims all the time, and people feel so embarrassed to tell me. I have to ask them certain questions. So I have to ask them, why are you calling in? Or, what is this for? The care of a parent, the birth of a child, pregnancy, or illness or injury, workers' comp, whatever, right? And then when they tell me illness, then when it pops up later in the question as I'm doing the intake, one of the questions is, what illness? So we have to know these things, right? So then if they say mental health, or, they don't really want to talk about it, and some companies are great. They even offer now in treatment for substance abuse and alcoholism, and will keep their job for them as long as they agree to go and get clean. But the problem is we're not supporting those ventures. And it's because we don't have the knowledge of it, that it exists out there.
I suffer from that too, Tim Man. Sorry, go ahead, Tim. I was just letting Tim Man know I suffer from that same thing too. Go ahead, Timmy.
It's a stigma. It's a stigma that mental health is a bad thing. Yeah. No, because a lot of us have it due to our society anyway. Look at the society we live in.
And I don't know if you agree with me on this statement, Tammy, but mental health as a whole, and I'm talking all aspects of it. I mean, there's a laundry list or a slew of different kinds of, mental health issues and whatnot. But every dang one of them, in my personal opinion, from what I can see, gets shoved under the rug. Everywhere you go or look, you see more mental situations not being addressed or looked at. And I think it was, I don't even know where it was or when or anything. I asked that. So why aren't we addressing this? Why aren't we fixing this, taking care of these people that have these problems? And the answer that I got from that was, we don't have enough places to put them. Really?
Why do they need to be put somewhere? Why can't they be taken care of in the way, respectful, dignified way that they deserve to be? Let me I don't know how I can say this. I'm going to try and say this as quickly as I can. Hypothetically, I'm going to speak about it hypothetically right now, because I don't know if I really want to delve too much into it. If we don't address certain people's issues, they keep having those issues, and I don't care how bad they seem like they want to be a good person and do good things. They will continue reoffending and re-hurting and re-injuring people because that's their pattern, and they've never been shown another pattern long
Well,
enough to with with how to cope with skills and how to address problems and issues without hurting others.
right.
You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm listening to you in the chat. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm seeing them all too. And we have a loving group. But listen, guys, one thing I learned, and I learned this from real estate school, I had the best teacher ever. So everywhere I go, if I'm out doing laundry, I live in a tiny home, so I have to go do my laundry at a laundromat. If I'm in the grocery store, if I'm at the car wash, if I'm
Yeah.
at the pet food store, if I'm just out for a walk, wherever I'm at, I meet somebody, I talk, I stir up a conversation. Conversations lead to subjects. Subject matter can be changed, and you can always somehow integrate in and open people's minds to understand what goes on in the prison system, in the judicial system.
Sorry
We
about
want,
that.
that's okay. We want to help. We want to help people, then we have to make other people that have no knowledge of what goes on in the system. If this had not happened to my best friend in the whole world,
Mhm.
and my husband in one, same person that I had known for over 40 years,
Mhm.
had he not went through this, I still would have been running around oblivious and blind and being like, oh, they must have deserved to be there. I had no friggin' clue. I hope everybody understands this. I had no friggin' clue. I was ignorant. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I was ignorant. I was green. I had no idea of the abuse, the absolute abuse and unaliving that goes on in prison.
Oh, yeah, I know. There, not just that, but what was it? And I got to be careful what I say here. Unaliving isn't. I can't say the S word. It happens
Yes,
all
those offenses, the reason PREA exists. We can say that. The reason
right.
PREA exists. That
But
just happened
there's
to a
more
young
of
man.
that going on now in prisons than back in the day. Believe it or not.
Yeah, it's worse now that the PREA exists now, even. I think maybe in federal it's better because they will PC them up. But in Texas, what they'll do is they'll put you in PC while they're supposedly investigating. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden they'll let you back out into general long enough for them to get a hold of the person that had asked to be put in PC. And they get attacked. And then sometimes they're unalived or sometimes they're used over and over again. Like the one that was in Alabama, I believe that happened to, that he passed and the organs were missing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he got passed around. Yeah.
I totally agree. But I wanted to do something before we end this show for tonight. I did a video. I want to share this video on my. I don't know, a lot of them probably haven't seen it, but I want to share it because I believe. Where did it go? Just bear with me for a second. I'm in the.
Is it the one about the 14-year-old kid?
Well, that one is doing really well. Believe it or not, on other platforms, that video got over 30 plus something K views on my other platform that I belong to. But no, the one I just recently uploaded, what was it, yesterday or last night? This is going to be a shout out for the person that was talking about rights. I think, anyways, just bear with me. Let me do the share screen with you guys, and I will get that up. 1 second here. Where did that person go? I'm going to say her name right now. Oh, Jay Brady. So this video is basically in a sense for Jay Brady because I believe that it'll be fitting if I put that out there if she hasn't seen it yet. I should have put it up on Twitter, but I didn't yet. But nonetheless, anyways, here's that video that I want to show you guys because there's a lot of misconception and confusion going on, guys, about prisoners' rights and what rights do they have, why they're locked up, or even former incarcerated. So we do have rights. Even found out of prison, we have rights. People say we don't have any. We do. And I'm going to go ahead and share that right now with you guys. Just bear with me. Get my settings set up here. And I'm going to go ahead and take you to that right now and show you that video.
Do felons have rights? Let's get into this. Hey, what's going on, guys? Jay here from Inside Out. Now, according to society and people getting in my comment section, people are saying that people like me, former and current locked up loved ones, don't have any rights. Well, doing a little bit of research will say otherwise, and here's that research. What you guys just saw there is just a slew of things and rights that we have. See, the problem is we are living in a very ignorant society. And a lot of people, believe it or not, don't want to do any research before they open their mouths. Unfortunately, we do have rights. One of which is what I'm doing right here, free speech. We also have the 4th, 5th, we have the 8th, and so much other. If you guys like this type of content, you want to hear and see more of it, man. That's
So there you guys go. There's that. I'm going to get back into my thing here. So just more proof in the pudding that we do have rights. I'm getting tired of people saying we don't have any. Go ahead, Tammy.
Oh, we absolutely have rights. I mean, you guys have a slew of rights. The 8th Amendment right to be treated like a human being, not like less than an animal.
Thank you for being here, Vicky. I understand. Be careful and be safe at work, Vicky. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Vicky. You know, I can't. I just can't. My heart just, I don't know. I'm going to do something. I don't know. You guys are going to see soon. I can't take much more. And I really, really am pushing. And I'm going to start pushing some envelopes because I have had enough of my fill. What I see in our groups on Facebook and everything, the thing that's going on is just absolutely disgusting. We have toilets overflowing, sewage everywhere. We had inmates without running water for weeks on end.
See, and
my husband took a shower twice this week out of a 7-day period.
What in the hell? Again, that's human decency that we have a right to. Why do we have such pettiness and stupidness when it comes to human rights stuff like water and running sewer that's supposed to run properly and hot showers and decent stuff that we have here at home? Why is it that we can have that stuff in home, but we can't have it in prison? I don't understand that. It gets me so frustrated. I don't understand why they got to take that from us or do things to where we got to basically earn it. We have already paid for it, so give it to me.
Yep, I'm trying to see if I can find it where it talks about it because I was like,
correct, Tin Man.
One unit, the inmates have been without water on and off for 2 months now. They don't have water on the blocks. Can't flush the toilets. Rank has to remind the COs that the inmates need ice and water. Someone needs to contact the news. A professional plumber should have been hired a long time ago, but it's just a process. Parentheses. And this one guy that heads an advocacy group, and I'm not trying to knock him or call him out, but he said the state is not, in capital letters, going to hire a professional plumber or any outsider. They have licensed plumbers and electricians on their civilian staff, and each unit has a maintenance section. Well, then what the hell is their problem?
Wow, that kind of just basically contradicts everything then in a sense. What you're getting at is that we have it, so why isn't it getting fixed?
Exactly. And
wow.
It's just, I mean, and the stuff goes on. And here's another one. Oh my God, this is the first I've heard about this. This is crazy. Something has to be done. And then somebody wrote, anonymous member, can I screenshot this and share it in the Texas Prison Alliance group? I don't know exactly what can be done, blah, blah, blah.
Thank you, Jay Brady, for that comment.
I saw someone say this once, they can ignore one grievance, but they can't ignore They can even ignore too. This is what you say, Jay, and this is why I'm pointing this out. Advocates, people in here, listen very closely. They can ignore one grievance. They can even ignore two, but they cannot ignore 50. Now, that is the Texas Prison Alliance. I really like this advocacy group. They're really big, and I admire a lot of them. They go to bat for the men and women in Texas. But let me tell you something. This is something that all the advocates complain about, all of us.
I agree with that, Tin Man. Go ahead.
You will come with us with a problem. Once your problem's fixed, though, and your inmates moved and your loved ones moved, whatever, they get it. The next inmate that goes into that cell or into that unit or into that section is stuck with the same problem your loved one was, and we stop writing and we stop advocating. We have to continue advocating till the problem is eradicated. We can't stop. We have to stay on them like a rabid dog. We have to absolutely keep going. So my response to it was, this is very true. The more the inmates can band together on these issues, the more weight it gives to us on the outside to also write and call. Sending emails as even follow-ups. I'm trying to teach people, keep a paper trail. Jay Brady, everything you do, every time you talk to someone at the prison, send an email. If to no one else, send it to the family liaison of that unit. Every unit has one. If no one else, at least that, so you have a paper trail that you're beginning to start and keep. And so it helps keep TDCJ accountable if legal remedies have to be pursued later on. I hate that they get retaliated against, and I always tell my loved one to put in a grievance, and he understands the risks associated with doing that.
Correct.
We pick our battles.
Jay Brady lives in the Huntsville, Texas area, just for your information, Tammy. There you go.
I feel for you. I know that area very well, and I feel for you.
Yeah, we're all here for you, Jay Brady. We're here for you. If you need help, just reach out.
I'm over by Corpus Christi, Texas, and there's
Cynthia. Yeah, Cynthia's over there too.
She's in San Antonio. And
I thought she was. Go ahead. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say. What was I gonna say? Oh goodness, gracious. Anyway,
we have a new follower in here. Let's say hi to everybody. Give a nice warm welcome to I hope I don't beat up this name. I don't even know how to pronounce it, to be honest with you. Do cat girl, or I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, something like that. It's close, but from Australia, and this is what this person said. Hello from Australia. Just browsing lives. This topic engages me entirely. Appealing the prison situation. Thank you so much for your comment and your support. Hope to see you here in my future lives. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for saying that. Corruption is so endemic. Time for everyone to speak up.
Absolutely agree. Thank you so much for that.
So I mean, my point is, like, it's a double-edged sword for us advocates, because we want to be honest and tell them, like, that advocate, he was telling the truth. They do have licensed plumbers and electricians, but by God, that's why I said we need an independent panel that can walk in there and say, this is disgusting. What the hell is the problem? And let's get it fixed immediately.
And they also have HVAC.
Oh, I know they do. And let me tell you something.
See what I did there? You see what I did there?
Units that should be installed that are sitting outside of prisons, just sitting on the ground outside the prisons, and they won't install them. Why?
So
what's the issue?
Correct. Great question. The new person is Ducati girl. Ducati. Thank you.
Ducati girl.
Thank you.
I like it.
I like it very much. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. I hope you become a new member and a sub, and I hope to see you in my next future lives. Thank you for being here and checking me out. Yeah, man. Again, you said a mouthful, Tammy, and everything is spot on. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. You see what I'm saying? The guy that you were talking to in that live or that show that he was doing, Flat out just basically said right there, we have it. So if we don't have it from like hiring professionals to come out and fix the stuff, if we have it in prison, well, let's not make any more excuses. Let's get it fixed. But the problem is they don't want to.
So here's the guys that we've gone over a little bit, but I kind of want to. It's intriguing. So quick update: Mitchell, Quentin, and Trent lasted 21 days on the hunger strike. Cofield, it's a unit here in Texas, not a nice one either. Came down hard on them, but they pushed through. They took water bottles from Trent, which were from the doctor because he is heat sensitive, so he's on a heat restriction, which they're not supposed to do that. They are absolutely not following protocol with his illness and this heat. Mitchell got his tablet back finally. I'm trying to figure out a way to speak with him now because my phone is still blocked. Quentin had a situation I don't want to go into detail, but he is in a cell now with no clothes, mattress, or water. The water is cut off. He went 24 hours without any water. Not sure if you got any since that message. I did send emails about that because punishment doesn't mean no water. The pic below is part of what I emailed the higher ups. Trent's family let me know that the board did a walkthrough of ALU yesterday, so maybe they are taking the email seriously now. I can only hope and pray. And this is the part of the email. The urgency of this situation cannot be overstated. Quentin Cox is at the risk of severe dehydration and potential death if this neglect continues. If Quentin has committed an offense, he should be given a fair sentence and treated in accordance with the law, not subjected to torture.
Absolutely, Degati girl. Absolutely. Go ahead, Tammy.
No, that was the end of the email.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, it's like what we say all the time. They're in there to do their time, not to be tortured.
Correct. And Jay Brady gets in here for you, Tammy. My son is in Michael unit, just so you know.
Oh, yeah, right there then. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I hope you're joined to the groups. Facebook has a lot of support groups. The only thing I caution anybody, and I tell everybody this, if you have a loved one in any prison anywhere, do not ever give out their last name or their inmate numbers, their SID number, which is around the United States, and their state ID number. To any group or anything that asks for that. There are other ways for them to verify you. They do not need to do that. And I see this a lot with people sharing in the groups. They'll screenshot parole stuff, or they'll screenshot something wanting to ask a question. They don't mark their loved one's name out or their numbers. Listen, I don't care how secure everybody thinks somebody might be or might be helping them. There are people out there that will try to extort or injure your loved one in there to gain either their stripes or to get money out of them. So please be very cautious when you're confirming yourself to a group, a support group, and please be very cautious when you're talking to other prison wives, mothers, husbands.
Because not everybody is here for help.
That's right.
And I've been there, done that, and I've been shut down so many damn times on social media because they found out and they just we can't follow this guy, we can't support this guy. Stupid. But anyways, just be careful, guys. Be careful.
Be careful out there. People are hungry.
Pick and choose your friends wisely. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. It's one of those things where, sometimes, again, don't take anybody in the chat, and you, Tammy, don't take this wrong way. I'm not saying I'm alone when it comes to you guys. What I'm getting at is I feel alone when it comes to advocating, because even though people have claimed, not saying this to you guys, I'm talking about certain people that I ran into before, claim that they're advocates, but then yet fire right back and destroy and ruin another advocate's journey or attack another advocate. If you claim you're an advocate, then be an advocate. One thing I will not support is another advocate attacking another advocate. Screw that.
Because it's not about us.
It's not about a popularity contest.
We're not important in this journey. Who's important is that person sitting in that cell right
Our
now,
loved ones locked up are more
being hurt and abused and treated
Exactly.
like crap. That's who matters.
Exactly.
And I'll say that time and time and time again.
Mhm.
This is about making reformative justice. I don't
Bringing
think that
truth.
all of the sentencing and encaging people in cages like this, I don't think this is the answer.
All we're doing here, guys, is bringing truth to the table. It's what matters. Yep. We have to bring truth, or who is. I don't see DOC doing it anytime soon, do you? I don't see any government entity or politician bringing light to what we're talking about here tonight.
No.
Or any other topic. Why? Because it's embarrassing to them. If they got this stuff out, they wouldn't be very popular right now. So we got to be the bad guy. We got to be the a-holes, if you get my drift, and we got to expose it. And then when we do, oh my gosh, we're still the bad guy, and then your locked up loved one gets retaliated against. They don't like this publicity. Tammy?
No, they don't. And that's why I'm saying we need to band together and come up with some real solutions that can happen now.
Why?
Not 5 years from now, not 10 years from now, but now. We need to start
supporting.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I know, but I'm telling you, my mouth is big and it's fixing to get real big. Because
I'm done too. I'm right there with you. My zipper on my mouth is broken.
Yeah, mine too. I know I get a little nasty sometimes, but you know what? I'm tired of it. It's listen, I know this sounds. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Tammy. We're gonna work on this. We're gonna work on me and you. But what I'm getting at, it's just the timing, because I'm on a time delay. I don't know if you know that.
You are. I'm sorry.
When it comes to getting things done, I think a major milestone and major thing that's going to happen for us is when we get that housing going. Get the housing going, and I think a lot of things are going to look up for us as a whole, clear across the board. What do you think about that, Tammy?
And I'm closer than you think on that. We'll talk after the show, but anyway, I want to say something on your behalf, Jay, and this is
10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Okay. I got to bounce.
Okay. It says, surround yourself with people that push you to be better. No drama, jealousy, or mess. Just higher goals, good vibes, and positive energy.
Yeah.
That's why you and I exist, because we can bounce that way off of each other. If I'm wrong and I do something wrong, you and I can, as adults, you could say, hey, Tammy, really, you got to.
Oh, absolutely. I've never had any issue with you.
I could say the same thing to you. We don't ever have to have that mesh, because we're most and foremost, always honest with each other.
Well, it's not about right and wrong. It's about the principle of it. It's about, taking your pride and shoving it down a little bit and saying, okay, yeah, I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing that has always worked for us, because we are always have that capacity, you and I, which I wish other advocates would get on board. And there are some that I'm learning to work with, and I'm trying to teach them.
Some have been quiet. Some have been quiet on my end. Yeah.
Yeah. Get out of that bubble that you're in, because what you're in, just like I say, sometimes you got to take a step back, take that deep breath, and just look at the picture of everything.
You have to get out of your comfort zone if you want anything done.
Yes.
That's how I look at it.
And we can't be scared, and we can't be intimidated. And that was one thing that I was really proud of you when you did your show about yourself, is that it was like, you know what? I'm going to stop being a punching bag.
That was hard.
I'm actually going to get out in front of the punching bag, and I'm going to say, look, I'm right here.
Yeah,
stop hitting me in the back. Stop jabbing me in my back. Stop kicking me in my head. I'm right here front and center. Let's go.
That was hard. That was hard for me, Tim.
And these are the mistakes I made in my life on this end. But this is what really happened. And listen, with every crime, there was one brought to my attention recently.
That was hard to do. That was hard for me to
do. I want to see all the facts before I say this person is guilty of that.
Correct.
I think you saw it in the chat, in our private chat that we have. with others. But there was a crime that was committed in Charlotte where a young man had hired an
Unalive?
escort.
Oh, I thought
He
you were talking
hired
about
an
something else.
escort. Yeah, he had hired an escort, and he unalived her in self-defense, he says, because she had somebody hiding in the bathroom to rob him. Now, being that I lived outside of Charlotte, Charlotte's got a very, very high crime rate, and people do unalive. Not unalive. The burglary is like the highest crime there.
Correct.
If you look at Charlotte crime. And so I told this person, I said, I don't want to say this guy's a piece of garbage yet until, because they claim that he arred her and unalived her. But yet he's claiming someone tried to, it was a setup. And that does happen a lot with the escorts and the prostitutes, where they will actually have somebody there to rob the John
Wow.
that comes in. So those are kind of, we all got to look at things from an objective standpoint. It's easy to jump on and say, oh, so-and-so did it. Like with that senator, that female senator, she may or may not have done it. But it just shows, it's just an example of, we got to sit back and wait now. Senator Menendez said he didn't do anything, but he actually did. He got convicted. And with hard evidence. It wasn't just hearsay or, like some of our cases where there's a lot of trumped up BS that's not true. So.
Real quick in the chat, thank you, Tammy, for the information. That's crazy. Man. Dugatti Girl said this: American incarceration rates are insane. Yes, we are the number one country. I tried to put in the chat, but it didn't come up. We are the number one country right now for mass incarceration. We hold the number one bracket. That's nothing to be.
Put that in the chat. Let me see if I can get in there.
Yeah, it didn't pop. I just put it in. That's when I was off camera there, and for some reason it didn't pop up. Is it what I said?
I don't. That's weird. Let me try and put in this.
Dugatti, I tried to put it in the chat, and I didn't want to let you know if you didn't know that. I'm pretty sure you probably knew this.
No, I did.
Again, we are the number one country for mass incarceration. No other country is number one right now. That's actually quite sad. Everybody wants to shoot for being number one. This is one scenario I do not want to be number one in. It's embarrassing. Thank you for your comment. But anyways, Dugatti said, I know. Yeah, absolutely. So Tammy, before we, obviously head out, I've been over my time limit. It's almost, been an hour and a half. What is it? Hour and a half already? Nonetheless, go ahead with your closing arguments, and I'll give mine, and we'll bounce out. Go ahead, Tammy. They're yours.
I guess basically all I'm saying is that, look, guys, what it all comes down to is we need reformative justice. Obviously, our senators, our judges, our presidents have committed numerous crimes and have corruption. So we have to think outside of the box. We need to start taking the people that it's affected the most, the families of those that were wrongfully emmed by states and federal systems.
Correct.
For crimes they did not commit, their families, people that have given up their lifetime in prison for crimes they did not commit. Correct. And then sensible, outside, everyday, blue-collar, hardworking Americans to get in there and be on panels and boards. We need to create our own. We pay for these prisons, so I think we have the right to have a say-so in how they're run.
Correct. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you on that. Dugatti Girl said this before I get into my closing. She said this: I follow lots of cases out of the U.S., particular interest in wrongful incarceration. Well, hey, guess what? You're on the right channel, because I talk about that stuff too. And believe it or not, I'm one of those individuals. I got wrongfully convicted of my crimes. I didn't do my crap, but unfortunately, it still got found. Took a plea deal, but nonetheless, guys, there it is. She's like on board when it comes to her he or she. I don't know if you're a he or she. Well, never mind. You or she. Stupid. I fucked that one up, didn't I? Anyways, I apologize. Nonetheless, I'm glad you're following me here, and I do wrongful conviction stuff. I do a lot of stuff on that, but thank you so much for that. And Tammy, thank you for your closing arguments. So here's my closing arguments. First and foremost, I want you guys to understand that this channel is dedicated to our incarcerated loved ones. We do a lot of prison stuff, and most of the time it's mostly negative. I hate it, but it is what it is. But the truth is negative sometimes. Unfortunately, just like Tammy, me, and everybody in the chat, we all want the same thing you guys want. Obviously, you all want the change that me and Tammy are looking for in others. So I say this, I can't say it enough. We all need to stand up, not just one person, but obviously a buttload of people to bring this type of change within our system. One person can't do it by themselves. So if you're wanting change and you want to see it, not just hear it, physically see it with evidence and proof, you come to the right spot. Stand up with me and us and go down to our capitals and say, hey, lawmakers, governors, politicians of all kinds, this is what's up. This is what I want, or you're not going to get my vote. So stand up, guys. This is America. We're in election year right now. This is our time now for our voices to be heard. This is crucial. This is big, and we need to stand up. Go ahead.
You know what's going through my head right now?
Go ahead.
Trump, you're fired. I just want to go to the White House and to Congress and walk in there and say, you're all fucking fired. Get out. Pack your shit up and go. Bye.
Correct.
You're terminated. We will hire somebody who best fits the job. No quotas, no bullshit. A normal person that knows what it's like to walk into the grocery store and get 5 bags of groceries, and it costs well over $100.
Yeah, and you can thank Biden for that one.
Can't put gas in their car. The person that can't pay for childcare or for their cancer treatment.
Get this, my wife. Get this, Tammy. You want to see something ridiculous? Get this. My wife had to get a new tire for our car because I guess we had nails and other debris in it that we didn't even know about. It happens, but it was, it's a used tire. A used tire was $60. A used tire was $60. Imagine what a new one would cost for just one tire. This is ridiculous. It's getting bad. I mean, there's no point. I can't even afford to drive. Neither can my wife. It's like, what the hell? You can't win. So
it's incredible. It's just, to me, I can't I just can't wrap my head around.
Right. So guys, if you guys want to help support this channel, please do what you can to help me, because it costs to keep this thing alive. It costs for printer paper, ink, pays the internet bill. Both of these, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but both these cell phone bills. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that costs to keep this thing alive and going, guys. So if you can, please do what you can to support this channel, because there's a lot of out of pocket for me to keep this thing alive. So support me all you guys can. I do have merch. I do have a lot of other things that you guys can share and do all that. But it's actually it's very, very. Oh, I lost Tammy. It's very, very hard, guys, to keep this going. But any and all support would be greatly appreciated. We got a new person here, Speak Up. He sent a YouTube link, it looks like. Thank you, Speak Up. I appreciate you for that. Tin Man also brought his organizational website. There it is, www.citizensassociation.org. Check that out. Go there. Speak Up also put up here, Josh Shapiro is hiding numerous crimes. I'm a whistleblower. Well, that's interesting. We need more whistleblowers. I got a whistleblower in prison right now. And then the Gotti Girl said, thank you for being a voice. It all helps create change. Absolutely. Thank you for being here, Gotti Girl. I appreciate you more than you know. Speak Up said this: the media in PA is covering it up. Oh man, that doesn't sound surprising. This needs to be viral. Speak Up said that. Okay, thank you guys. There's the clip. There's there's the link to that. Go check it out. Speak Up said, hello, I'm a mom. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for being in here and showing your support. Nonetheless, I appreciate you. Truthful Tam gets in here. Can you report the link to join? Sorry, other phone. Please, everyone, check out Jay's clothing line. It's great. So I do have a merch. I'm having issues with it, but I will try to do what I can to put up my link to that. Matter of fact, where did it go? Before I bounce out of here, guys, let me go ahead and show you that merch line real quick. Bear with me bear with me, guys. 1 second, okay, guys? I got to find the link to it. And we'll go from there. Oops. Come on. There it is. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do, bear with me. I'm going to get that link up right now for you guys. I'm going to do the share screen. Actually, never not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to get it easy. I'm going to give you guys the link to this right now. Okay, there it is. There's my link to my merch. That's my link to my store. Go check it out. It's not up on YouTube because there's an issue going on technically with YouTube and my merch store. It's called again, the merch is called where did it go now? Anyways, I'll share it to you guys right now what it looks like. Just bear with me on the share screen. Copy and paste that link in the chat, guys, if you guys can, and go over there and show your support. This is what that looks like. There it is. There's my merch. Imagine that t-shirt, From Inside Out beanie, From Inside Out mug, From Inside Out hoodie, From Inside Out sticker, From Inside Out water bottle, From Inside Out t-shirt, and From Inside Out hat. Do what you guys can. Show your support by checking out one of my items here. It is what it is, guys, and there's all my links to my platforms right there. Again, I hope you guys appreciate it. Nonetheless, there it is. The link's in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, again, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, email me right now. voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com, just as it sounds. All one word. Make sure you spell it the way you see it on the screen, or I won't receive it. And even sometimes it ends up in my spam folder for whatever reason. Reach out to me and we'll go from there. If you want to get hooked up with Tammy and others, reach out to me and we'll go from there. All right. With that being said, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I will see you this coming Wednesday for our roundtable discussion with more information and data regarding our prisons and other issues within our system. I'm your host, Jay. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys later. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. Take care. Peace.